Hey guys, in today's video I'll be showing you how to replace the spark plugs in your 2016 Scion IM. This also applies to the 2017 Toyota Corolla IM, as they are both the same car. So let's get started. First thing you'll need is the spark plugs. I go with Iridium Long Life. You can see those are the best, longest lasting spark plugs, and they're really not that expensive. I went with the original OEM Denso ones. I think part numbers right here. You can see that. So we'll be using these today. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is take off the plastic cover that is on top of the engine, like so. Right here are the 4 ignition coils that we have to remove. We're going to start by disconnecting them. So these ones are being a little bit tricky for me, so I'm just going to push down on the tab here with a flathead. There you go. So if that happens to you, just use a flathead and pry it under here while also pushing down on the tab just to relieve some of that pressure, because these can be on a little bit tight. Next step is we're going to remove these 10mm bolts here. You'll need a 3/8 ratchet and probably a long socket 10mm. Here's the 3/8 ratchet with a 10mm long socket. Next step is to remove the ignition coils. So after when you remove the 10mm bolts, they should just pop right out. So the next step to remove the spark plugs, you're going to need a 14mm long socket. Make sure it's a 6-point socket and not a 12-point. And then you'll need a 3/8 long extension along with a 3/8 swivel or wobble extension, as they call it. Because if you put this without it, it'll just be really hard. You won't be able to get the socket down into the spark plug hole. You need, the movement that this gives it, like this. So make sure you have these. You can get these all at Harbor Freight or Amazon. They're very cheap. And then you'll attach it to your 3/8 ratchet. And then we're going to start to remove the spark plugs. First, you want to feed it down the spark plug tube and move it around until you get a good feel for it. And then attach your ratchet. And start removing it. Alright, so I'm having a little technical difficulties getting the spark plug out of the socket because I'm obviously not using a specialized spark plug socket. Those are designed to grip the spark plug once it becomes loose and pulls it out. So I'm going to try this trick where you put a little duct tape, or painter's tape I'm using, inside the socket. That should grip onto the spark plug and pull it out. So we're going to try that really quick right now. There we go, that worked perfectly. So if you're having a little issue like me, then try that little trick to pull the spark plug. Gotta compare it with the new one. So I'm currently at 70,000 miles, so this looks just about the perfect dirtiness for 70,000, so we were definitely overdue for a change. So let's put in the new one. Alright, so we're going to try that trick again with the duct tape or the painter's tape. I prefer painter's tape just because it comes off easily. But here's the new spark plug. So now we're going to stick it in like so. So that way it has a good hold onto it, so that way it's not going to fall off as we try to put it into the spark plug hole. So now we're going to first feed it in with our hands. You don't want to use the socket just yet. So feed it in like so. And start hand tightening it. And you'll want to hand tighten it until it starts to get tight, and then leave it like that. Pull it back out, and then we will hand tighten it right after. So of course I'm not going to show you the rest of the spark plugs because it's the same exact process. So as you watched here, again, take your 3/8 long extension with a swivel socket, 14mm long socket, and then try the painter's tape trick. That should work fine because it gives the socket some grip. Pull out the old spark plug, pop in the new one, hand tighten it, and then attach it to your ratchet, and then just ever so slightly tighten it. Just hand tighten it. You don't want to over torque it and strip the threads in the spark plug. So just do it very lightly, just till it's hand tight, and then maybe like another quarter tight, and then you'll be all set. So now the next step is to reinstall the ignition coils. Now we will hand tighten the 10mm bolts. Then we'll take our 3/8 ratchet with the 10mm socket and just tighten these down, snug them down good. Again, just hand tighten these, you don't have to torque it down really hard. Okay, last and final step is to reconnect the electrical connectors to every single ignition coil. And you want to do it until you hear that loud snap. Okay, last and final step is to reinstall the plastic cover on the engine. There's two spots, one right here. And then, well actually no, there's 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just line those up. And that settles it. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, this is for the 2016 Scion IMs and also the 2017 and I think 18, maybe 19. I don't know when Toyota changed the designs, but all very similar models, or the same exact models. And that should work fine. Again, I recommend using the Denso because these are the OEM plugs. Make sure you get iridium, long life. And again, this is the part number. Hopefully you can see that. I will link in the description down below to get these spark plugs if they're available on Amazon. And I'll also list the other tools that I use in this video if you'd like to grab it as well. But pretty similar, or pretty simple job to do, very simple tools to use. And you can easily do it yourself and save some money. So again, I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure you leave a like if you did find it helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.